introduce yourself, Guillaume and Laurent, first, and also answer the question on, well, we heard a lot of now about the adoption and the engagement process, and that we have to approach this management task more systematic. So would you agree on this, and what are your recommendations on this?
I'm Guillaume Guerin from l'ECO, a French consulting firm. I'm very glad to hear this presentation, which were very interesting, especially the part I love processes. So what you just showed was really interesting for me. I would just to come back on the presentations. We run a benchmark on 15 French companies, and we calculated from social activities, adoption and engagement based on 100,000 users. I would just say on this that the social platforms which worked the most were not all the time the one where profile completion was the best. It's really depending on how benefits were short-term for users instead of long-term. Usually companies try to launch community of interest, which are very long-term benefits intentions, but when the final users come to the community, they don't see immediate benefits, so it doesn't work. That's why it was interesting first to hear about the strategy at a global scale in the company, helping people to come to the platform, so to drive adoption, and then the engagement part, which is also very important. I would say that to answer your question, that you also have to do community management inside your community. That's true, but I think the main task today, in France at least, but in Europe I think so, is to bring people to the platform and to give them some example of success, to give them also some examples of failure, because often when you are a community manager, I would say that you have one community and you try to do your best on one community, but you won't have enough community managers to animate 3,000 or 4,000 communities. So you have to be able to convert other people to become community managers. That's what you said, one at a time. That's very important.
Hi, I'm Laurent Pantanacce. I work for Blue Kiwi, and I'm in charge of customer success. I'm head of customer success. Girls, I'm going to tell you that I totally agree with what you said, but at the same time, I totally disagree with what you said. Last week, I've been asked about what is success in social network, and the person said, "Is it rocket science?" I said, "It's worse than rocket science." Why? Because rocket science is you have something on Earth you want to launch in space. And social network, it's you have something you don't know and you want to achieve something that you don't really know. I agree with what you said about focus more on business value, on something that is achievable, and by the end of the day, your boss is going to say, "Wow, we spent less time doing this." And yes, I also agree by the fact that you cannot do everything. You have to find few points with specialists, with community manager. But I've been spending 7 years in this area, and everything is possible. So 2 weeks ago, I spent a whole week in statistics. I love statistics. You love process, and I love statistics. So I took all the top 10, top 20, top 30, top 100 statistics about clients, about page views. It's not enough. About active users, about time spent in I took many. There is no patterns. No pattern at all. So there are some clients that are spending a lot of time doing things. Some of them are doing nothing, just going and having a question, getting an answer. both of them say, oh, yes, it's a success, because we were not able to do this before. So, yeah, what? Yeah.
Which is communities produce all sorts of value, incredible amounts of value. However, if you want to maintain business sponsorship, you have to show ROI. So the problem I think I see with a lot of community managers is they start from the bottom up and they see all these different patterns and like all this different value. And you could spend your entire life calculating different ROI chains. But what you really should focus on so that you can get to that future state is on the thing your executive sponsor cares about today. Like what matters to them. And some executives, they want stats. They want hard ROI. Some executives want better cultural alignment. They don't need the hard numbers, but they want markers that people are having a similar experience. So it depends who your executive is and what they want. And I think it's too hard to focus on all of those different things that come up naturally in communities, and they do add immense value. But the thing the community manager has to keep in mind is balancing that with the need to maintain support and funding so that that can be possible in the future. So I do agree, but I also am realistic about, like, if you don't focus, you can lose your sponsorship pretty easily.
Well, and one of the things that I heard in what you said were two different scenarios that actually was business value. One might have been, I got to find an answer, I was just in there once. But if you're really good at your job as a community manager or a strategist, you can figure out what was that value of that transaction. I only need one of those to prove to an executive that if I do more of those in the business, that means something to the business, right?
10 years ago, I was studying in that school. I was in the building in front, and I did a thesis about engagement. So and I used someone called Cosinets. So Cosinets created something in 2000 about engagement in player communities. What is interesting is what he discovered nearly 20 years ago about players is exactly what we are discovering today. So the person who come and just say, oh, I want a question and get an answer, it's what he called a tourist. And we need to go from tourists to insiders. So people who are social and who are eager to help other people.
Okay, I have to close this down.
Thank you very much, bye-bye.
Sorry for this, but thank you. Thank you.